If you're thinking about moving to Florida, you're not alone. I've already done it, and I've got 9 things you need to know before you do it. Some good, some bad. I'm Ken Tyndall. I'm a real estate agent in Florida. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, like this video, and hit the bell so you'll know when there's a new video. How many people are moving to Florida? A lot, like more than 1,200 people a day. From July 2021 to July 2022, Florida's population grew to more than 22 million people. Other states like California and New York lost residents. Florida had a net gain of about 319,000 people. But it's not just the higher taxes in those other states. There's no state income tax in Florida. And the overall affordable living. Of course, the number one thing, it's the warm, sunny weather and mild winters. The average daily temperature in Florida is 70 degrees, the warmest state in the country. It's no wonder that a lot of people move here, especially during the winter months. But know this, for some people, the weather is too hot and humid in the summer. And there is hurricane season, June through November. Back when I was a news reporter, I was one of those people. Instead of hunkering down, they sent me toward the storm. But here in Florida, hurricanes are one of those things we learn to deal with, and we know when they're headed our way, so we have lots of time to prepare. Also, Central Florida is known as the lightning capital of the United States, so you have to be prepared for severe thunderstorms to pop up, especially in the afternoons. For me, I'll still take hurricanes over a lot of other severe weather conditions they have in other places like blizzards and tornadoes and earthquakes. So to go along with the warm weather, the next thing, number 2, the beaches. Florida is bordered by the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean. So if you live in Florida, you have access to some of the best beaches in the country. Some of Florida's best beaches include Clearwater Beach. It's one of the best white sand beaches in America with the calm water of the Gulf of Mexico. In fact, a lot of the Gulf Coast beaches are amazing, from Clearwater down the southwest Florida coast, Sanibel Island, and Siesta Key Beach with the incredible quartz sand. It's been named one of the top beaches in the country. And you also have the Florida Panhandle. And on the Atlantic side, you have Daytona Beach and Cocoa Beach, all the way down to Miami's South Beach, known for its international culture and nightlife. The beaches are a big reason why so many people move to Florida. Then number 3, you have the Florida Keys and Key West. It's an island paradise and a popular vacation destination and a great getaway for Florida residents. The Keys are a 125-mile chain of islands just south of Miami, and you can drive all the way down on a scenic series of bridges that connect all the keys. They're all great for boating, fishing, and scuba diving, and once you get down to Key West, you've arrived on the southernmost populated island, just 90 miles from Cuba. And you can experience the world-famous Duval Street and the dozens of bars and the party atmosphere. And speaking of world-famous attractions, number 4, you'll want to check out the theme parks. Disney is king, and its Orlando theme parks include the Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Disney's Animal Kingdom. You can also go shopping and have dinner at Disney Springs. You'll also find several water parks, including Volcano Bay, and Orlando is home to Universal Studios and SeaWorld. You'll also find other theme parks and attractions in other parts of the state, but Orlando is the epicenter. And Florida residents get a discount on annual passes, so it's easier to pop in for some fun without planning a huge trip months in advance. Number 5, no state income tax. In case you haven't heard, Florida is one of those states with no state income tax, and it's one of the reasons people move here. It can be a huge advantage for individuals and businesses because you can keep more of your money. The cost of living in Florida is now a little bit higher than the national average, about 1%. But since Florida is so big, it really depends on exactly where in the state you decide to live. Some cities can rank higher or lower, so you should compare the cost of living in the places you're considering moving to when you're deciding where to relocate. As far as the overall economy, it's more than just tourism. Florida has the 4th largest economy in the United States with a $1.3 trillion gross state product in 2022. And the unemployment rate has been below the national average for the past 2 years. And that brings us to number 6, real estate in Florida. Again, the cost of real estate can vary depending on where you are, but you can find more affordable housing prices in places like Orlando and nearby Kissimmee, also Gainesville, Cape Coral, Palm Coast, and Palm Bay. Buying real estate in Florida can be a good investment. Since so many people are moving here, there's a lot of demand for housing. You'll find all kinds of housing options and different styles of architecture, and waterfront living, and homes with backyard swimming pools. And there's rural Florida country living. We also have a lot of gated neighborhoods and 55 and older communities since so many people retire here. Number 7, the insurance crisis. So if you're going to buy a home in Florida, you need to know this. It's been going on for a few years, and homeowners have seen their homeowners insurance premiums skyrocketing. More than a dozen insurance companies have even stopped writing policies in Florida, and some home buyers are finding it more challenging to secure property insurance. And I'm not just talking about people who live along the beach. Since fewer companies offer homeowners insurance, the companies are being pickier about which homes they cover. The bigger companies have a smaller presence in Florida. In order to stay in business, the regional and local insurance companies are charging rates sometimes 3 to 4 times the national average. It's costing a lot of homeowners thousands of dollars a year. Number 8, critters.
Lions and tigers and bears. Lions and tigers and bears.
We talked about hurricanes, but another thing that might make some people hesitate to move to Florida is the wildlife. It's something you should know about, those creatures that you don't see in a lot of other places. But honestly, other states also have diverse wildlife. Of course, alligators are notorious, but other Southwest states have gators too, and they have their encounters with residents. Same with sharks. They have coastal encounters from the Northeast all the way down to Florida and around the southern Gulf Coast states. And we have spiders, coyotes, and snakes.
And bears.
Yes, and bears in Florida. You can find snakes and spiders just about everywhere in the country. And mosquitoes? Yes, we have mosquitoes. And since it's warmer in Florida for more months throughout the year, our mosquito season might be longer. But just like hurricanes, we learn to live with our critters. Number 9, there's a lot of other good stuff in Florida. And some other bad stuff. Okay, some places are getting crowded and there's a lot of traffic, but I want to wrap it up with some more positive things. If you love sports, Florida is home to both professional and collegiate teams. We have several pro football, basketball, baseball, and even soccer and ice hockey. And of course, NASCAR at the legendary Daytona International Speedway. A lot of professional golfers live here in Florida, and Florida has its share of golf tournaments. And if you play golf, you can play around at the hundreds of courses around the state. And some more good stuff. There's culture and entertainment, including museums and top-notch theaters and concert venues, especially in the bigger cities across the state. And if you're a foodie, Florida has a lot to offer. Of course, there's lots of fresh local seafood because there's so much coastline, and Florida's diverse population means we have a great mix of cuisine, including those Latin and Caribbean flavors, and lots more. And several food and wine festivals to celebrate it all. So yeah, Florida's not for everybody, but just like anywhere else, there are positives and negatives. But for a lot of us who call Florida home, the good outweighs the not so good. Just thought you should know. And you really should subscribe to find out more about Florida and real estate, and you might also want to watch this video.